welcome to the 2024 Highland Community College Athletic Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. My name is Jerry Cole. I am the second year athletic director at Highland Community College. I began my duties on June 1st, 2023 after serving as the head men's basketball coach at HCC for the previous 14 years. I'm also an alum, class of 1991. It is my honor and privilege to oversee this ceremony tonight. At this time, I'd like to recognize some special people that are in attendance. If you would, please stand and be recognized when your name is announced. First and foremost, our new president, Vince Bowie.
Got it.
Vince, did you want to say a few words?
Never turned out a chicken to have microphone, right? I just want to say it's so great to have all of you here, and it's so great to have so many friends in the room. Francis Flax and Tom Bond are living legends, and I just appreciate just even being in the same room with them. So I know all of you have had a moment where you've been moved by both of them, and I just also feel the same way. So I want to say thank you to Jerry for giving me the opportunity to be here. Thank you for being here tonight, and also thanks for being a Scotty. I know every day you choose to be a part of Scotty Nation. When you leave here, you'll still be a part of Scotty Nation. So thank you, and I hope you have a great night.
Thank you, Vince. You got your $10, right?
Check with cash.
A few others that are in attendance, Vice President Andrew Ritter, Vice President Mary Ketchum, Executive Director of the HCC Foundation, Keith Paloma, Board of Trustees member Bill Knoll, Board of Trustees member Mark Brown, Board of Trustees and Athletic Hall of Fame member Tom Smith. There are a few Hall of Fame members that are here tonight as well. Hall of Fame member Roger Gormley. Hall of Fame member Marty Allen. Hall of Fame member Greg Delzide. And my favorite Hall of Famer, Robert Tracy. I believe we have some members of the 84-85 men's basketball team here that were recognized by the Hall at one point. Yes, I remember. Thank you all for being here for this special day. Beginning in 1997, Highland Community College Athletic Hall of Fame was established for the purpose of recognizing and honoring former student athletes, coaches, faculty, staff, athletic teams, and special contributors whose accomplishments have brought prestige, honor, and/or support to the Highland Community College Athletic Department. Each year, Highland Community College accepts nominations for the Athletic Hall of Fame. Nominations can be done online at scottyathletics.com. It's very easy. Those eligible for induction include former student athletes that began their journey at HCC at least 10 years ago. Coaches, faculty, and staff who have served the college for a minimum of 5 years, and honorary individuals who have served the interests of Highland Community College athletics. Nominations are an ongoing process, and once received, they stay in the nomination selection category each year, where they are reviewed by the Hall of Fame committee. Please keep in mind going forward that to be processed as a candidate in a given year, you must receive that nomination by June 1st. We will now begin the induction process for the Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2024. If anyone would like to take pictures when we have the plaque presentation, feel free to come forward at that time. At this time, I'd like to introduce our first presenter. He has long been associated with Highland Community College and Scotty Athletics. He's an alum of HCC, class of 1964. He was the athletic director at Highland Community College from 1989 to 2004. He's a Highland Community College Board of Trustees member and a member of the Scotty Athletic Hall of Fame. Please help me welcome Mr. Tom Smith.
Greetings, everyone. If you can't hear me, appreciate it if you just put your hand on your ear, but don't do that. And Tom has assured me if I go beyond 8 minutes, he's going to pull this. Time for me to sit down. But first of all, greetings to you, and let me congratulate both Francis Flax and Tom Bond being selected for induction into the HCC Athletic Hall of Fame. It's a very special occasion. These two gentlemen that we're working with here tonight, if you want to stick around afterwards, it'll be 6 o'clock in the morning before we get done with stories. All right, let's get started. Today we are honored to induct a man whose journey embodies dedication, leadership, and service, qualities that have left a lasting impact on his community, his colleagues, his athletics, and his family and his community. Tom Bond's story begins in Osage City, Kansas, where his first work experience was with his family car dealership. His father was his first mentor, imparting valuable lessons in salesmanship that Tom carried throughout his career. Tom still remembers the excitement he felt selling his first car off the lot. In his junior year of high school, Tom attended Wentworth Military Institute in Lexington, Missouri, where he developed the discipline of leadership skills that shaped his life. His classroom abilities flourished there, and he later graduated from Osage High School in 1964. Before returning to Wentworth for his junior college program. As a student athlete in the Central Intercollegiate Conference, he competed in track and cross country, setting a school record in the 800-meter relay that still stands today. It was here that Tom first met Marty Allen on the Highland Junior College track team in the field of competition. Moving on, Tom's journey then led him to Kansas State University, and shortly after, he joined the Army, serving with the 25th Infantry in Vietnam. It was while stationed at Fort Riley that he met Becky Finger, who became his lifelong partner. The couple married, and after being stationed in Germany, eventually settled in Troy, Kansas. Later on, the second son, Peter, and a daughter, Jane, arrived, making the family complete. Back in Troy, Tom's career in sales began at Keith Marsh Chevrolet, St. Joseph, Missouri, where he was honored as Sales Employee of the Year. Where Tom's next step was a recruiter for the National Guard in Kansas, where his dedication and skill led to his promotion as the state supervisor for the National Guard recruiting. Although offered a position in Topeka, Tom chose to stay in Troy, keeping his family as his priority and continued recruiting from home until his retirement. Tom Bond's contribution to the Troy community are deeply rooted in dedication to youth development and his unwavering commitment to education and athletics. Tom's journey began in the heart of Troy, where he and his family lived just across the alley from our home. Conversations over the fence often revolved around the Troy High School football workouts held on the large cement slab between our homes during the summer months. Tom's interest in the team's progress, paired with his genuine curiosity and the community's youth, was a testament to his passion for supporting and guiding young people. Tom's oldest son, Chris, and my son, Paul, were the same age, attending school together and sharing similar experiences. Their friendship was reflection of the close-knit community Tom fostered through his involvement. A committed coach, Tom dedicated countless summers to leading the youth league baseball program, giving the local kids a chance to play and grow in the sport. Beyond that, he established and coached the Donovan County team in Northeast Kansas League, where he led young athletes in games against neighboring towns such as Atchison, Hiawatha, Seneca, Sabetha, and Holton. Now, even while raising a family and juggling multiple coaching roles, Tom pursued his education with determination. He earned a degree from the Missouri Western State College, graduating in 1997 with a major in history and a minor in athletic coaching. This accomplishment achieved amidst his busy schedule, highlighted his commitment to self-improvement and the value he placed on knowledge. From 1985 to 1996, Tom also served as a cross-country track coach at Troy High School, where his team saw incredible success. His athletes achieved numerous state qualification and medals, including a state championship in cross-country and several top 10 finishes. Tom's impact on Troy's athletic programs extended beyond individual achievements. He instilled in his athletes the principles of hard work, resilience, and community pride. In 1996, Tom joined Highland Community College, fulfilling 3 vital criteria for the assistant coaching position in cross country and track and field. His success as a high school coach, his status as a respected local figure, and his outstanding recruiting experience with the National Guard. Tom brought his passion and knowledge to our men and women's cross-country and track program, as well as to his role as an admissions recruiter, often seeing campus enrollment shoot over 600 students. In 2004, he stepped up to coach the women's basketball team, guiding them to the NJCAA Region 6 tournament, a remarkable achievement in the brief 3-year coaching career. Coach Bond's 11-year tenure in cross-country and track is nothing short of remarkable. And I think you had that on your program there, beginning of what I'm going to refer to here real fast. 130 NJCAA All-Americans, 198 All-Conference KJCC honorees, many other awards and recognitions, NJCAA Academic All-American Teams, NJCAA Academic All-Americans, and finally, it accumulated in and recognized by his peer coaching group that he was the NJCAA Region 6 Coach of the Year in 2011, 2012, and 2018. Tom Bond's legacy is one of excellence, hard work, and dedication to his teams and students. His record of achievement has set a high bar, but even more importantly, his character, integrity, and the positive impact he has made on countless young lives make him an extraordinary and deserving member of the Highland Community College Hall of Fame. Let me summarize what Tom is all about. And I didn't make this up. I learned this at a coaching clinic in 1978 at the University of Arkansas from Lou Holtz. Lou was up there giving us the words of advice, and he says, if you want to be happy, if you want to be successful, and if you want to have a good life, there's 3 things you've got to do. Number 1, do the right thing. Number 2, use your God-given talents to the best of your ability. Number 3, be ready to lend a helping hand. Where is Tom today? Most of the time, Tom is in the wellness center on the bicycle or the treadmill, when not checking on his family. Also, Tom is still lending. I can remember 5 years ago, my great nephew from Sharon Springs, Kansas, came back for the Thanksgiving holidays. He got a hold of Tom, and 3 days over the holidays, They went over high jump technique with Tom's supervision. The following spring, as a freshman, he qualified for the state track and field meet with a high jump of 6 foot. Great job. It is my honor to nominate my friend Tom Bond for induction into the Highland Community College Athletic Hall of Fame. Tom, you will need to come forward for this nomination and acceptance. Tom?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank our Heavenly Father for all His blessings and interactions that He's made in my life. It's been a lot. And then I'd like to thank Tom. That was a great introduction, Tom. I know Liz helped you a lot. And, you know, as Tom said, we go back a long time. In 1970, when Becky and I came back, when I got out off active duty and came back from Germany, I was on the back porch of my mother-in-law's house, and I looked across the alley, and I saw all these kids on this slab of concrete, and there were all kinds of plastic weights and buckets of cement, and you know, it was just a hobnob bunch of stuff out there. And all these kids were out there working out. And there was Tom over in the corner cooking hamburgers for us. And I thought, you know, there's a really, really good coach. You know, he's working with his kids in the summertime, and he's taking care of them. You know, he's looking out for them. Well, that year, he coached football at Troy, and he turned that program around in 1 year. And I got to ask you this, Tom. I didn't ask before, but did you beat Whopping that year? I'm sorry, Greg. I'm sorry. Greg was a senior in high school in 1970 when Tom turned that Troy program around. I'm really sorry. I'm not going to say anything. Okay. And I want to thank whoever nominated me for this recognition. I'm not sure who did, but when I find out, I'm going to thank you. And I'd like to thank the selection committee for honoring me and honoring Coach Blacks. I want to take the time here to thank those that organized this whole thing. I mean, it's you know, it's just an outstanding event, and I want to thank Amy Lackey. Where's Amy? Okay. I want to thank Kelly Twombly. I want to thank Stephanie Peterson, and Lissa Halls, and I want to thank Jerry Cole, the athletic director. I'm telling you, and I go on record when I say this, Jerry is just a great athletic director. He is doing a fantastic job for Highland Community College. Now, I would like to introduce my family. I'm going to start with Chris and Michelle. Chris is my oldest son. Unfortunately, couldn't be here tonight. But Peter and his wife, Deanna, I'm telling you, I'm not good at speaking. It's old age. And Deanna and Jane and her husband Justin. And I want to introduce my grandchildren because I'm so proud of them. Chris and Michelle's son and daughter Emma and Eli, and Pete and Deanna's daughter Grace, and Jane and Justin's Porter is not here tonight. He's got a basketball function. But little Hank, the fisherman, is right here, and Molly, my little dancer, is right back there. I love you guys, and I'm telling you, I just appreciate all the support that you've given me over the years, and especially the understanding when I couldn't make it to some functions and some events. I just appreciate the understanding when I was involved in track meets and practice. I also want to real quickly introduce our coaching staff, our present coaching staff, and I'd like for you to stand up. Track and field head coach is Coach Crawford, Dave Crawford, where you got right there. And I'd like to recognize Taylor Francis. She's the assistant coach. I'm telling you, both these people, they're young, they're hungry, and they work extremely hard. Taylor has several different hats that she wears. She's a compliance officer in the athletic department, works directly with the athletic director, and she takes care of all the administrative things for Coach Crawford. And I'm telling you that the track and field program here at Highland is in good hands. Watch this track and field program this year because they're going to do some major things, really. Okay. As many of you know, I'm a man with few words. I don't talk long. And I remember one time that I was told that the mind can retain what the rear end can endure. So I'm going to try to keep this as short as I can. I'm just going to roll through this. Tom hired me. I think it was 1995, Tom. It may have been 96, but I think it was 1995. I can't remember. But he hired me to help Tim's wedding. And unfortunately, Tim is not here tonight. He passed on a couple of years ago. I'll tell you what, Tim was a great coach. He's in the Hall of Fame as well. He was a great coach and he was a great mentor to me. I had coached all the events in high school track and field, AAU, Junior Olympics for a long time, but I did not know the throws of it. And when I came to Highland, Tim patiently taught me those throw events, which gave me the opportunity to be a whole coach, a full track coach. And I eventually, coached the throw. We worked together very, very well. We accomplished a lot of stuff. And like I say, Tim was a great mentor. And after he left, we would see one another at all the meets and catch up. And he was not only a great coach, but he was a great coach. He was a really, really good coach. And I miss him. I really miss him. And both of us worked with the women's and men's cross-country program and the men's and women's track program. And so, we were pretty busy working with all those athletes, but thanks to Dave Rice, I had an opportunity to go full-time because Dave moved me into admissions, which gave me a full-time job. And it worked out really, really well for me because we went all over the place. I worked with Benita Geiger and Glenna Batchelder, and that was a trip working with them. You know, you never knew what was going to go on. But we had an opportunity to go all over the state. We went into areas that Highland had never gone into before on career planning workshops, CPCs. And CPCs were where all the high school kids would come in and you talk to them about college. And then we went on pizza night. You know, we had a lot of pizza nights where the kids would come into a Pizza Hut and we talked to them about Highland Community College. And then we had the call nights. You know, a couple of times during the week we'd come in and we'd make a lot of calls. But what I guess the bottom line here is I had an opportunity to recruit for the college, but I also had a chance to recruit for cross country and track and field on Dave's dime. You know, it didn't come out of our budget. So when I traveled, I used his money. And, you know, I mean, it was a great opportunity. And so, thank you, Dave. So after that, Tim left and went to Truman State as a coach. And I took over. Dave was president then, and I also want to mention that I worked for Cheryl Rasmussen too. And Cheryl, I appreciate all the support that you gave me. I don't want to leave you out, okay? Because it was fun. I mean, we had a lot of good time in admissions. So after Tim left, and Dave asked me to take over the women's program. We split the program at that time. We had a men's program, a men's cross country and track program, and we had a women's cross country and track program. I took over the women's program. And during that period of time, I worked for Greg Delson. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna tell you right now, Greg was a great athlete. You know, sometimes we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. I'm not going to go into detail on that. But anyway, Greg looked out. You know, I was in the military, so, you know, he looked out for his troops. He looked out for the coaches. He took care of the coaches. He went to bat for the coaches. And he was a great administrative athletic director. The certification and all the things that an athletic director does, he was on top of it. And with very limited resources, he managed very, very well the athletic department. And Greg, I appreciate everything that you did for me. And I'm going to say I'm honored to have your friendship. And then there was one other person that was in that athletic department. She was the backbone of the department. I mean, she really was, Darla Tracy. And Darla did so many things for the coaches. And, you know, above and beyond her job description. I mean, she made labels for me so I could send out letters and contact recruits, and she sent out physicals for us in the summertime so our athletes would have the physical so they could get them at home. I mean, she just did so many things, and she also had candy on her desk for all the coaches every day. You know, every day she'd have that bowl filled. And but not only that, besides her job, she was a friend. When my wife was in at KU Med Center with cancer, she came by the house and watered Becky's plants while we were down in KU. She brought food by the house when we brought Becky home. And Darla, those are things that you never forget. And I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate everything that you did for me. Okay, now there are several other people that I want to thank. Let me look at my notes here. I want to thank Angie Everly. Angie runs the Wellness Center. She ran the Wellness Center when I coached. She had a kind of a complicated job when it came to women because baseball, softball, and track wanted to practice. So she had to arrange the practice times and make sure everything went smooth, and she did. And when Becky was sick, she was right there for me. She helped me through some dark times, and so did some of the other people that I'm going to mention. And I just appreciate everything you did for me, Angie, and I appreciate your friendship. And Rick, her husband, was the baseball coach at that time. I tell you, he was a great baseball coach. I've watched his practice, and my oldest grandson is heavily involved in baseball now, and I've watched some of his practices, and I'm telling you, Rick was a good progressions coach. I mean, he did a great job. And we worked together on times when we could be in there. We never ran into any problems. Heidi Jordan was a softball coach then. We never ran into any problems. You know, each and every one of us supported the other programs. So, Rick, I appreciate all the help that you gave me, you know, all the times. And, you know, we had some good time. Okay. All of these people I'm going to mention, well, I'll come down to that. I want to thank Bill Knoll. I want to thank Roger Garmley, Marty Allen, Tom Martin. Tom's not here tonight. Greg again, Greg Delside, Rachel Smith. Oh, by the way, Rachel works in the Wellness Center too. She's a good friend. I'm telling you, when I have a down day, and I had some down days, you know, she's always got a smile on her face, and she's always encouraging. Thank you, Rachel. Tom, those people. Oh, I don't want to forget Don Cash. No, over there, he helped too. He was a high school coach at Troy. Okay, we had track meets in the Wellness Center. That's our indoor track. And we normally had at least 2 track meets a year. And those people worked the events for me. They never turned me down. They were always there for us. And I appreciate it. And really, they did it for a piece of pizza and a bottle of water. And if I had some T-shirts left, I'd give them a T-shirt. But they came in on their own time on a Saturday and sacrificed their time, and I really appreciate what you guys do. I appreciate that. I also want to thank Barry Simmons and Rick Blevins and their crews, because as I got older, it was hard for me to move equipment. And anytime I would call those guys, they would be right there helping me move equipment. If I had a broken piece of equipment, you know, like a high jump standard or a throw board, they would be right there helping me. One thing that I didn't mention about Greg Delside, I forgot about this. He not only did his job and went above and beyond the call of duty here on his job at Hyde, but I'll tell you what else he did. He made a throw ring for me. I needed a throw ring for the weight throw for our indoor meets. On his own time, he made that ring for me. Anytime I had to replace hurdle boards and the screw holes weren't right, he would re-drill the holes and help me put the hurdle boards on. He was there to move equipment and stuff for me. Now, you know, how many athletic directors do? And I appreciate it, Greg. I appreciate that. Okay, about the program, and I'm coming down to the close here. tried to build the program on opportunity. If a young person, if a young lady wanted to do track and field, I really didn't care what her marks were, or what her times were, well, within reason. But an example of that is I had a young lady from Atchison, Kansas. She threw the shot 33 feet in high school. The average throw back then was probably 36, 37. But she came up to me at a track meet and asked me for an opportunity. She said, I'll do anything that I possibly can. I know I can get better, but you give me an opportunity. I said, yeah, I'll give you an opportunity. That young lady came in and worked her tail off. She dedicated herself not only to the throw, but also academically. When she left Highland, she had the shot record at 39, 10 and a quarter. Now, think about that. She came in throwing 33, and she went out throwing 39, 10 and a quarter. And she went to Emporia State, got her degree, and she's very successful right now. And so that's an example of opportunity. I could talk all night about the opportunities. I had young ladies that would ask me for an opportunity because they would be the first girl or the first person in their family to go to college, to get a degree. I had young ladies call me and say, Coach, I just want to get out of this environment that I live in, And so we tried to give those kids an opportunity, and, it paid off down the road. I tried to priority Kansas kids and local kids. I really did, but don't get me wrong. We had some out-of-state kids. We didn't have any international kids like a lot of the Jayhawk programs have. But we did have some out-of-state kids, but we prioritized the local girls and the Kansas girls. That was the number one priority. And it really worked out really, really well. Those young ladies came in and worked extremely hard, and we accomplished quite a bit, I would say. Now, I wanted to bring them into a safe and caring environment where there was open communication between the coach and the student athlete. But I wanted the parents to know that when they came to Highland, they were in a safe environment and they were in a caring environment. And I tried to run the program by the NJCAA rules with integrity and respect for everyone, especially my athletes. But I think my number one priority was not just, seeing the kids do better and, the national qualifiers and national medalists, but it was all about getting a good education. I wanted those girls to get the best education that they possibly could get and move on. Whether it be to another 4-year school or on the job market. I wanted them to get a really, really good education. And Highland provided that. I used to call Highland the Harvard of community colleges in Kansas because it was, Highland always did a good job on the education side. And Donovan County and Highland are very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? They should be proud. They should be proud that they have Highland Community College in this county. and in high, because it's a great educational institution. We didn't win any national titles, but I'm going to mention a couple of successes that I want to mention. One was the cross country team that took third in the region. That team was made up of all small school Kansas kids, with the exception of a young lady from Chillicothe and a young lady from St. Joe Christian. They worked extremely hard, and that was a great achievement for Highland, because that's the highest place that Highland has placed as far as a Division I school to date. And I'm hoping that that's broken here in the near future, Coach Crawford. They did a great job, and I was really proud of it. And that goes to show that you can bring Kansas kids into a program, and they're going to work hard, and they're going to do what you ask them to do, and they're going to excel. So the other thing is, like Tom mentioned, we had 3 academic top academic teams in the nation. That's like winning an academic national championship, and that was what it was all about. As I said before, we wanted them to get a good education, do the right thing in the classroom, and be able to move on. Those 3 teams, I'll tell you, and every year, we were in the top 10 of the Coaches Association All-American team. We had an All-American team through the Coaches Association every year. There was at least one team that was recognized on the Coaches Association side. Okay, I'll talk to you. In closing, this recognition is for all the young ladies. All the young ladies. I've got 3 or 4 of them here. One that coached basketball. That was just 3 years, but I've got 4 of them. And this is dedicated to you guys. This is dedicated to you for all your hard work, grit, and the ability to get through the workout. I was just a facilitator. You guys did the work. You really did. You worked hard. And I'm proud of it. There's so many memories. There's so many memories that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. So I dedicate this honor to you, girls, and some of the guys that I coached. I'm so honored to have been a small part of your lives. And it was just a small part. I hope that I made a difference in your lives, because for sure, you made a difference in mine. You really did. I also want to dedicate this honor to Becky, my wife of 48 years, who supported me through the ups and through the downs. She was my biggest cheerleader. She was the one that I would bang things off the wall, and she would just sit there and listen. I hope that she's looking down right now, and she's proud of me. And I miss her every day. And I thank everyone for being here, for myself and for Coach Blacks. And thank you for this honor. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
Let's see if I can get organized again. Thanks, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Congratulations. Our second presenter is an HCC alum, class of 1990. Last month, she was honored as the KSSA 2025 Kansas Superintendent of the Year. She's in her 6th year as Superintendent of Atchison Public Schools. She received her KSSA award last night, and her work is fortunately gone for the weekend, so she was kind enough to record her presentation. So please help me welcome the recorded version of Dr. Renee Flax-Nugent.
Nation. I'm Renee Flax-Nugent, and I am so disappointed that I cannot be there in person tonight. I'm honored to introduce my dad, Francis Flax, who's being inducted into the Highland Community College Athletics Hall of Fame. My dad grew up as the oldest of 15 on a dairy farm, where he early on learned the power of hard work. His father, my grandfather, believed that each child should make their own way, offering a small sum of money at the high school graduation with one choice: go to work or go to college. Dad chose college, and that choice changed everything. While he may have spent more time on the bench of St. Mary of the Plains basketball team, sorry Dad, but it's true, he became a student of the game, developing a passion for coaching and education. From small town schools like Spearville and Ellenwood High to the bigger challenge of Highland Community College, Dad's path was never easy, but it was always guided by his drive and love for the game. Highland became his place to build something lasting, leading the Scotties, creating a supportive culture with the Booster Club. I remember many of those traveling fans on chartered buses to some pretty hostile environments like Cloud County. Dad easily found joy in recruiting and always reminded all of us the importance of fundamentals. After Highland, he took on another challenge, starting the athletic program at Brown Mackie College from the ground up. He has national championships and other accolades for another time on that journey. Today, he's come full circle, coaching again in a small town high school, giving back to the community that means so much to him, and in turn, filling his lifelong passion for coaching. As much as he's achieved professionally, his other legacy is at home. Raising 4 children, Linnell, Rachel, Bryson, and myself, he showed us that hard work and family go hand in hand. We're so proud of you, Dad, and grateful for the lessons you've taught us about life, resilience, and the importance of giving back. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor. Love you, Pops.
A couple things. First, I can't talk as long as Tom, unless we're at a bar somewhere. Get me to a bar, I can talk all night. And the second thing is, Jerry, you might want to give me my award before I talk, because all this stuff, integrity and things that he talked about, what I'm about to divulge, I don't know. First of all, thank you, Jerry, and the committee for giving me this honor. I am I'm humbled. Didn't think this thing would ever come. Even though in 2008 I was inducted into the National Junior College Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame. I've won 2 national championships. I've been to, Jerry knows, I've been to the Division II National Championships 6 times in my 25 years at Brown Mackie. And I think our record at Danville is 17 wins and 5 losses in 6 times up there. We've got 1 5th place finish, 2 4th place finishes, a 3rd place finish, and 2 national championships. Now, that said, it's all because of what I got to do at Highland Community College. That paved the way for me to be successful
and win over 600 JUCO games. I'm a JUCO guy. Even though I'm going to go back and coach high school, now I'm a JUCO guy. Man, that's where it's at. And again, thank you, Jerry. You've been an opponent, but a friend. We've liked each other, but we haven't liked each other. And as I look back, the only time, still today, I go on the NJCA website every day and look at the basketball scores and hope that Highland won. The only time I didn't want to see Highland win is when I was beating their butt or when my son was trying to beat them. Other than that, I'm a Highland guy. I have so many people that either were or still are associated with the college that led me to where I am standing right now. First of all, the late Dr. Jack Nutt. He took a chance on me. I had been at Ellenwood High School for a few years. In my last 3 years, I won 60 games and lost 10. And I applied up here, didn't think I had a chance. And within 4 or 5 days, he called me and offered me the job. So I drive up to Highland, and I don't have a place to live. I don't know anybody. And I met Greg Delta. Greg said, well, you can move in with me for a while. And I did. I moved in with him for quite a while. Until he told me it was time to go. Coach Marty Allen. I never tell him this to this day. He and I are almost identical, birthdays, age, the whole works. When we both were in the Army at the same time, the whole deal. I never tell him how much he meant to me. When I needed to find out something about the JUCO game, I had to go to him. And man, did he help me a lot. We had some terrific instructors at Highland Community College when I was there. Some of them, some of my guys discussed a little while ago, and we won't bring them up. But they were really, really helpful. I mean, I had a lot of guys that struggled in the classroom. And I'll give you an example of that. I had and this probably got me to where Dr. Nutt thought I guess he thought I should be there. I had a player from Virginia Beach, Virginia, Alan Woods, 6'10", wasn't very small. And that was my first year here. Alvin, I don't even know what the regulations were, whether you had to pass 10 hours or 12 hours, I don't know, but he didn't make it. So I go to Dr. Nutt's office and I say, well, I'm going to have to call Alvin and tell him he can't come back second semester. He said, well, you know, we could probably get him eligible. And I told him, well, I don't think so. And he said, that's the answer I wanted to hear you say. So now, what I'm going to say later, you're going to say, well, you're not that kind of a guy. So a little while later in that year, well, it was the same Christmas vacation, Chuck Carringer, who was the football coach, resigned and went to, I don't know, someplace in Iowa to coach. I believe. Marty, am I correct? Did he go to Iowa? Uh-huh. And Dr. Nutt called me in the office and he says, hey, I'm going to make you interim athletic director from now until June 30th. If I like what you do, I'm going to give you the job. And he did. He gave me the job. So, getting back to those instructors, we've had some tussles, and B. Davis was a hard gal in that registrar's office, let me tell you. But they were some of my biggest supporters. Arlen Parrish, I don't know why he liked me, but he sure as the world did. And actually did me a couple favors. Behind the scenes, I had some really, really good supporters. Russ Karn is one. Behind the scenes, Russ was a fan of mine for some reason. And, you know, when Dr. Nutt told me that I was going to be the athletic director, he said, guess what? I'm going to give you my personal secretary to be the athletic secretary. And that's Darla Tracy. If I wouldn't have had Darla Tracy, I would have never made it. She did everything and more than was required. I mean, it was unbelievable, including we had a lot of plants in our office. I'm a plant guy, plant birds. She, I guess it was Vaseline, I don't know, and put it on every leaf in the whole damn place. Our plants, our office looked like a greenhouse. The next thing that I did was went downtown to Ernie. Didn't have any money. So I solicited $75 from as many people as I could, and we called it the Uptown Coaches Club. And I don't think any of those members are here tonight. Oh yeah, there you go. He's over there. We had Chuck Hunsaker, Bill Buttrick, of course, Dean, and somebody gave Kenny Mooney $75 so he could be in there. Lauren Patomi, Bill Hunsaker, Frank Cluck, and I don't know for sure. That was the crux of it. And after the first year, I mean, they chartered a bus to go to Cloud County, and Mooney tore all the Cloud County posters off of the rails. There was no alcohol involved. So that was the start of something special, because every game at home, all these Uptown coaches set up there. They had their own sign, Uptown Coaches Club. They all set up there and were really supportive. My family isn't here tonight. I had 4 kids. You saw one of them on the screen. I have a daughter, Linnell, who is in commercial real estate in Dallas, and she was at the function last night, but had to get back to Dallas today. I have a daughter, Rachel, in Omaha, a school principal, expecting her 7th kid. My son, Bryson, who followed me at Brown Mackey, and now I'm going to follow him because I'm taking his job at the high school. He wanted to be here tonight. He texted me just before we got here and said they've got a young child, 2 years old, that has a medical condition, and they can't leave. So that's he's not. So I got. Guess who I got? My wife. Jesus, I have to settle for her. You know, when I was winning games, I would come home at night. The light was on the door. The dog was at the door wagging its tail, and she had me a bottle of Budweiser. If I lost the game, I come home, it was dark. I had to find the key. The dog was gone. And hell, she never talked to me for 2 or 3 days. So she supported my coaching endeavors for, I don't know how many years, about 40 years, I guess. She's not only a cheerleader, she's a referee, and she's that fan that if you were an opposing team, you want to throw her ass out. As a young coach, It seems like wins and losses are the only things that really matter. The relationships and the long-lasting friendships that really are the one things that really matter. I have some special guests here tonight that I want to recognize. I'm so proud of them, not only for what they've done to the basketball program, but what they did in their careers. First of all, Cedric, stand up. Cedric Phillips, Kansas City, Washington High School. Very first recruit that I ever had at high. His team, Washington High School, was in the state tournament his senior year, and I went and visited him, and for some reason he chose to come with me and was the backbone of our team for 2 years. And like I said, it's not only what they contributed to the basketball program, but their careers. He has completed 30 years at Pipe Fitters, Labor Union 533, Kansas City, and I'm so proud of him. He was the backbone of my start. Thank you, Cedric. When I recruited Cedric, they come up to Ireland and some little guy came with him. And what the hell, I don't want him. He said, no, I don't want to play, I just want to be your manager. And if you look on that board up there, you see a picture of me and Walter Lenore Jr. Walter, stand up, man. At that time, I was told there's no money for an assistant coach. So I enlisted Junior. That's his name is Junior. I enlisted him as a student assistant. And he helped me with practices on the bench at games and so on and so forth. And he's worked for 27 years as a chemical plant technician for, I guess this is right, Evilverse Chemical Corporation. Evilverse Chemical Corporation, Kansas City. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Walter. Greg Burns. Stand up, Greg. I begged and begged to get Craig to come over here. Highland wasn't good enough for Craig. I'm going to go to Allen. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. I said, come on. And guess what? He was only from down the road at Elwood. And so finally I twisted his arm long enough and he came over here and played for me for 2 years. He's had an outstanding professional career also. He's 29 years with Nestle Purina Pet Care, operations, production manager, warehouse manager, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't write it all down. I asked him for a couple of things that he's done, and he wrote me a text about this. Right now, he's the head basketball coach at Riverside High School, which is in Wapena and Elwood, and he had a fantastic run the last couple of years, state tournament, unbelievable. But he lost. We're going to see if he can coach it. Thank you, Craig. Daryl Pace. Stand up, Pace. Some of you know and some of you don't know. Daryl Pace has one eye. Greg Delzite and I were on a little recruiting trip to Kansas City, and somebody had told me about this hard-headed guy at Slagle High School that could not get along with his high school coach. And he was working at First Cafeteria. I believe it was on State Street. I'm not sure. It was State Street. Greg Delzite and I went in there one morning, we're going football recruit and some other things afterwards. But We went in the first cafeteria. Guy met us at the door and said, we're not open yet. I said, I know that. But I want to talk to the cook, Daryl Pettis. He said, okay, just a minute. And he got us a glass of water and we sat down at the table and this guy out here, chef's hat. And he's already 6'9", and he put that chef hat on. He's about 7'5". And I handed a piece of paper. I said, Pace, here's a letter of intent to come to Highland Community College. And whether you want to believe it or not, he cried and signed the paper. He is the first recruit that I had at Highland Community College that signed Division I, Murray State, Kentucky. He recently retired after 30 years with UPS, the Kansas City area. In addition, he's been a high school basketball official for 27 years and is still doing it. You know, I wish I were coaching and he was wrestling for me because I know which part of the court he can see and which part he can't see. And let me tell you how good our team was, our 90 or 85, 84, 85 team. In case you can sit down. These guys were so good, and Tom said he would like to recruit locally. On that team, that 85 team, we had a 7-foot redhead from West Virginia that couldn't dunk, and everybody else was within 80 miles of Highland. We had Ottawa, Kansas City, several from Kansas City. We had, St. Joseph, Missouri, Elwood, you name it. Troy. We had one from Troy. These guys were terrific. And what made them really terrific and what made us such a great team, we won 23, 24 games, was the fact that when we were running, we scored a lot of points. But when Pace was running the lane on one side of the court, these guys were so smart, they never threw him the ball because he couldn't see. But if he was in the other lane, he finished with a dunk every time. He was terrific. I love you all, guys. I was supposed to have a player here tonight from one of my Brown Mackey teams, the 2005 team that went 35-1. We won the national championship, of course. And he, for some reason, he didn't make it, and that's okay. But I'm grateful for his contributions. When you go 35-1, you can ask Jared that. But I have two supporters with us tonight. My wife and I have two friends here, Dan Keyhorse and Jennifer May. They're our greatest supporters. Dan owns Ryan Roofing, and Jennifer owns an nail salon. Anytime we need anything, all we do is either call them or go to their house, and they answer anything that we need. In a couple cases, for basketball, it's been financial, and they've helped us out. And we really appreciate their friendship. Thank you, guys. I said I wasn't going to be up there as long as Tom, but I don't know. So after I retired, I told you I'm a JUCO guy. After I retired, 2 months after I retired, I said, I made a mistake, man. I wish I was back in. But I had already, my son had already taken my job, so I was done. Here's some of what I learned while at Highland Community College that enabled me to win over 600 JUCO basketball. Dr. Nutt was the first one. Right behind him was Dr. Bill Spencer. He came in from Kansas City, Kansas Community College as an interim president, I believe. And I know I shouldn't say this because some of you might be great friends with Dr. Larry Devane, but he and I couldn't see eye to eye. But you know what really tickled me? He left Highland and went to Redlands Community College in Oklahoma, and Brown Mackey had to play him for the right to go to the national tournament at the Redlands. All right, I got a couple stories and then I want to get out of here. These are some of the things that I think you ought to give me my award for before I say these things. So I got this kid, Chris Moore from St. Louis. My wife and I go to St. Louis, and I'm sitting on the couch in his mother's apartment. She's a nurse, but she's also maybe a little alcoholic. And they got a little tiny apartment upstairs. And I'm sitting there on the couch, got my hand out there. It's a little tiny living room. They've got a couple trophies there that he had won. And all of a sudden, this thing starts crawling up my arm. And I don't know what it was, but I discreetly brushed it off. And when it fell to the floor, I kicked it under the couch. So Chris comes to Highland. And one day he tells me, Coach, I need a bus ticket home. He said my grandmother died. I said, oh man. I think in St. Joseph, put him on the bus. I think Dean Barber gave me the money. I put him on the bus and got back to Highland to the office, and I decided, shit, I better call mother, and I want to send some flowers and stuff. I call the telephone number, and this lady answers the phone, and I said, well, this is Chris Moore's coach. Hi, Coach, how are you? It was his grandmother. She hadn't died. He wanted to go home. Jeff Washington, St. Louis. I had a lot of St. Louis kids. But I also had all the kids from Kansas City, Kansas public schools that did not go D1. Am I right, fellas? I had them all. They all came to Highland, including Kenny Taylor, including Jack Hall. All those guys came up here. Jeff Washington's mother came in from St. Louis to watch him play Thanksgiving Classic. We're standing out in front of the administration building at the bottom of the stairs, and there was some, I don't know, wherever you go up the stairs and hang on. Big Jeff, 6'8", 250 pounds, puts his hand on the railing and sneezes and dislocated his shoulder. He couldn't play, and we took him down to the little clinic in Highland, and they couldn't get him popped back in. They had to take him over to St. Joseph, Missouri, and I think they stood on him, and I don't know what else they did. But that was another thing. So I got these guys in Fairbury, Nebraska, Southeast Community College. Sunday afternoon game. And Fairbury's got a good team. And we dress on the stage, and there's a water heater up there, and the water heater leaked all over our clothes that were on the floor, and this and that. And we got hosed by the officials. I mean, we got hosed. We're coming back to Kansas, and we got to the border up by close to Marysville up there. And I told the bus driver, I said, stop this bus. And I made all the guys get out. And I said, hey, piss on Nebraska. Later years, I had a team that went up to Creston, Iowa, Southwestern Community College. And we had a 2-day classic, and we had just beaten Creston in the last game of the night. Beat them, I don't know if it was 98-97 or 99-98. I don't remember the score. we're coming back on that cold bus, and I'm telling you, it's snowing, it's blowing, it's cold outside, and at that time they were playing that bebop, whatever it was, Holiday Inn, whatever it was. And I told those guys, just shut up, just take it easy. And they kept just raising hell. I told the bus driver, I said, hey, stop this bus. Tell them there's something the matter. He pulled off the side of the interstate. I said, you guys got to get out of here. There's something the matter with the motor on this bus. I'm afraid it's going to burn. They all jumped out of the bus. I locked the damn door. Let them stand out there in the snow and the wind and the cold. Finally, I opened the door and said, you guys had enough? We had a quiet ride. The last one, I had a kid, Tommy Adams, from Buffalo, New York. And later on, I coached his son at Brown Mountain, by the way. Tommy Adams came in here, and this is the first year that I had a real assistant coach. I had Jackson Wheeler. So all this integrity stuff that Tom's talking about is out the window now, because I got Jackson Wheeler as my assistant. So you all know the, what's the name of that building, Esther? Irwin Hall. Irwin Hall had a classroom upstairs, and I think later on it was the athletic offices, if I'm not mistaken. And down below, Barb Farley's office was on one side of there, and there was a wall. On the other side was kind of a classroom thing. And in between the two was a door with a gap on the bottom about this. You know, you can slide stuff up there, what I'm saying. So we got Tommy Adams. Tommy comes over to my house. My wife's tutoring him because he needs a GED. She tutors him 3 nights a week. I think he just came over for the food. We've figured out real soon he ain't passing math. We figured real soon he ain't going to be able to write that essay at the end. But he might be able to do the other 3 parts of that test. So Tommy goes into, after we've done the practice tests and all that, Tommy goes in to Barb Farley and says, I'm ready to take the test. Well, Tommy's sitting right by that door where you can slide stuff under. And I'm on the other side, in the classroom side. And so Tommy slides the math test under the door, and I do it for him. Meantime, Jackson Wheeler's got Barb Farley on the phone, talking to him. Hey, I hope Tommy's doing good, all this. I passed the test back under the door to Tommy. He passed it. He passes the little writing part. I don't know, you had to write 4 or 5 paragraphs, I don't know. And so I wrote it out on a piece of paper, and I said, Tommy, you got to write this in your own handwriting. And he did. Jackson had her on the phone for I don't know how long. I was nervous, I got out. About a half hour later, Barb Farley called and said, hey, Tommy passed the test. Yay! Look, I've had so much fun at Highland Community College. I did so many good things, and so many people just helped me out, and I still, some days, wish I was coaching in Highland. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Francis. Congratulations, and long overdue, my friend. I would like to give a special thank you to Great Western Dining for catering tonight's social hour. Also, thank you to everyone that made this evening possible, from Kelly and Amy, Stephanie, Alyssa, Tanner. Without all of your hard work, this night simply doesn't happen. Congratulations again to both of our newest Hall of Famers. We will be recognizing them tomorrow at halftime of the Scotty football game against Iowa Western. Game time is set for 1 o'clock, so if you're in town, please stop by. There will also be a social gathering in the Dean Barber Room, which is located on the first floor of the Stadium Center, for friends, family, and alum during the game. Before I get to the end here, I want to put a plug in for, we have 2 high school all-star games tomorrow, 5:30 and 7:30. 5:30 is the 4-state all-star game, and at 7:30 the Northeast Kansas all-star game takes place. So if you're in town, come over and see some really, really good senior volleyball players. I would like to thank everyone for being here tonight. Also, if this does conclude, would all Hall of Fame members please come up here so we can get a photo before everybody leaves. But please travel safe. Thank you.